Hello, hello, and happy holidays. We are already saying happy holidays, and welcome to the Wisdom, Wellness, and Wealth event brought to you by the Pieces Collective. I am Shannon Dale Stott, your host. I love when we get thrown into amazing things. Today, we are doing something just out of the box. We are truly live. I'm live, yes, but our panelists are live on location today because we are talking about celebrating and supporting small businesses for the holidays. And Karen Freeman, Akrama Muhammad are both at Savage Mill today in Maryland, and we are going to be able to see some of the makers that make Pieces Collective what it is. So I want to welcome you. I want you to get a cup of coffee, a hot mug of something, warm up, settle in, and join us as we walk around and see what there is to see. Ikrama Muhammad and Karen Freeman, hi. How are you both?
Season, we're good. I mean, I'm good. Are you good?
Goodness.
Yes. It's been a busy season already. We're good.
We're both good.
And Krama, you're the creative director of Pieces Collective. Just tell us, you're here. So tell us a little bit, welcome us in. Tell us what we're going to see today.
Well, today we're going to see a collection of items from different makers here at Savage Mill. Savage Mill is a quaint little mall. Mall is not really the right word, but it's several stores, and we'll take a walk around a little later on, but there's several stores here. It used to be a textile mill. So it's about like 4 buildings. In each of the buildings, there's a pottery store, there's a woodworking store, candle making, all of these different creative type locations. And we are in the middle of that, not quite in the middle, but we're out in the open at a kiosk, and it's called Shop Local at Savage Mill.
Nice.
So we're here with 4 other makers, which we will introduce to. We won't introduce the makers because they're not here. They worked all day and they have gone home. So we are here representing them, and just to show you a little bit of their items. But it's really important to us at the Pieces Collective because at the Pieces Collective, we support makers. And it's our mission to honor and promote our heritage as makers, develop and inspire leadership, also to help create thriving communities through cooperative economics and education. So being here, I'm here at the mall at Savage Mill representing my company, which is Pieces and Threads.
Pieces and Threads. Yes. This is
Threads.
it is not necessarily a lost art making, but it seems like people are rediscovering that, yes, it is a thing that you can do. Make your own clothes, make your own baskets. You can do these things, and you're educating us in this art form.
Well, there have been makers holding that space since time began. Some people never gave up on making, and they continue it as a tradition, and they pass it down to their children and grandchildren, etc., and pass it on. And so that's what we want to honor. And I think you're right that during this time when things might be a little uncertain and people might be starting to feel a little isolated or unsure of what's happening, then there's a need for connection. There's a need for community, and nothing is more community making than when you do the traditional arts like sewing and knitting and quilting. That's why they call them like sewing circles, knitting circles. And this is when people in the community got together, and they not only practiced their craft, but they also told, what do they say, spilled the tea on what's going on, what was going on in the community, or just passes down history, etc. So
And for you and pieces, it is even more apropos, I feel like, because you're not making things completely from scratch with your craft. You're taking history and heritage and piecing it together. Isn't that right? With your bags and whatnot.
yes, but
Yeah.
um, we make some of them, well, not completely from scratch. We're not spinning the threads, which, mind you, I would love to learn how to do. I would love to
Amazing.
learn how to spin thread. I am going to begin to do weaving because I love weaving. I would love to weave my own cloth to make my bags, but
Mm,
we take sometimes new fabrics, but mostly recycle,
yeah.
repurpose fabrics and join them together, just like
Hmm.
we're striving to join community together, right?
Yeah.
It's like the threads that bind pieces of fabric together. That's what we're working to do, is to cooperate, collaborate, and create with other people who have a love for this. And it's not just a like a hobby, which is okay if it is, but some people make a good living at it. But it's also something that is producing something that we need, that is
Hmm.
a basic necessity, clothing.
Right.
You know, we wouldn't want to be running around here without clothing. Right?
No,
So,
Some
not
of
right
us
well,
wouldn't.
some of us are already doing that, but this is why we have to change this trend and let people know the benefit of being able to make our own, whatever it is that we can
absolutely.
make, and the education that comes from that.
Yeah. Can you, even before we start like getting in, because I know we have a video for you, can you even talk a little bit about that? Like when we are getting together, what is the, to build, to make, what is the importance? What are we, why is that important? Why is it important that we hand down these traditions, that we sit in these circles and tell these stories and make these things together?
Yeah. Well, I think it goes back to us really having an oral tradition.
Mhm.
Before we wrote things down, we told each other,
Mhm.
right? That's how we maintain history for a very long time, just by passing it down. That's where you have the griots in the African tradition who hold all the history. They were members of these communities that could tell you the whole lineage of tribes from the very beginning. And they held all that and held space for all of that.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's more, it deals with our humanity, because first somebody has to care enough and think it's important enough to remember that, then people have to think it's important enough to sit and listen to that,
Right.
you know. And it's not the same when you're sitting and listening. There's a different connection, um, and it's not the same as reading it on paper, although that's good too.
Right.
But when you ask why that's important, and it's a connection between generations.
Mhm.
It builds respect between the generations. And the more you know of yourself, the more knowledge you have of self, the more respect that you have of self. And you're having somebody is um, who is connected to your history, who loves your history and loves you, who's sharing it with you.
Yeah.
They're not going to omit things and add things and change things. So
Right.
it builds a trust as well. And most of our movement, a lot of our movements have been centered around these type of um, these type of traditions.
Mhm.
Whether it be, I can think of one story about the women in Alabama during the civil rights movement, and I think it was Martin Luther King visited them to let them know that they could vote, and they started making quilts. They were already making quilts, but they began to make and sell quilts, and they even formed a collective, to sustain them during hard times. But they went in masses to vote. They had to cross a there was a ferry. They had to take a ferry and cross the ferry, and they went over there to vote in massive numbers. And then when people got wind of that, they shut the ferry down.
Hmm.
So now they had no way to get over to the mainland city. They have to drive like 2 hours or whatever just to get over there. So, um, you know, but they sustained themselves during that time too through quilting and sharing and helping each other out. And they didn't open that bridge, I think, until 1970 something.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't start that ferry
That.
again until the 70s. So, there's a lot of history,
Hmm.
in addition to that, it's just fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's fun to learn a new skill, to start with just scraps of things, and then you wind up making it. You wind up with something useful and beautiful, and you say, "Oh, I did that. I did
Hmm.
that." You know,
Hmm.
and it's something that you really see when you work with children because they haven't lost that joy of creating.
Right.
They're always using their imagination. They're always being creative, and you could just see the eyes open when they make something and how happy they are. And I think we have to get back to that. And there's a need for us to have that
Hmm.
in our lives now. So there's more than one reason to do it,
That's right.
right, Karen?
Correct.
I was going to say, Karen is over there. Karen, you are also part of Pieces Collective.
Hmm.
As far as the making part, do you consider yourself a maker?
No,
I know, I
I'm not.
know.
But she
I'm not.
is.
I'm not a maker, but I am part of the Pieces Collective, and I work very hard for us to get prepared for this giving season. And we just kicked off over the weekend our giving season with our Community for Action fundraiser. And it's a fundraiser for our Spread the Word program, which is a literacy program where we are striving to provide home libraries for Head Start students. And the home library consists of 10 books with diverse characters based on research. Students that have books in the home do much better academically and they're much more motivated to read and to learn in school and they stay engaged. So we start out our season by having this fundraiser so we can give back to our children in our community by creating the books. And we had another six. This is our second year. Our first year, yay, we raised enough money to do 150 libraries, and
Wow.
we are striving to get to 500 libraries. I don't have all the numbers yet because it was just this weekend, but I'll let you know next time how many libraries we created from the
Amazing.
fundraiser.
Yeah.
And the
Congratulations.
donations go on all year, but since this is a given season, you can always give to the Pieces Collective for Spread the Word.
Yes,
Absolutely.
please.
And yesterday, we talked about
Um,
yesterday, we had our first, we're partnering with this Head Start program in Baltimore. And the name of the program is St. Vincent de Paul. And they have 4 locations of little children just eager to learn. And we had our first meeting with them yesterday.
yeah, they called it Science Night. They were teaching
Hmm.
3 and 4 year olds about science, and they were doing little experiments, which really blew the minds of the children because they were putting baking soda and then pouring, I think, vinegar or something to make
And
it
some
bubble.
colors. They had the
And they
food
had
coloring.
food coloring, and it would be like an explosion. Oh, they were just
Oh, they
in
love that.
heaven with that. But then we also had books on topics of science,
Hmm.
age appropriate for them to read. So they were excited. We handed out books to the children.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
And it was encouraging because we have been looking at the stats on literacy,
Hmm.
which are atrocious, criminal even,
Hmm.
that only 16% of Black fourth graders in public schools can read at grade level. So That's just awful. Only 33% of all public school fourth graders can read, which is still terrible. Um, so, we've been looking at all these horrible statistics and how hard it is to get parents involved, et cetera, et cetera. But when we went to this event, each location we went to, the volunteers who we had a report in today, a debriefing, and everybody said that the parents showed up with the children, they were engaged, etc. Now, some areas had, some locations had more than others, but all of them, I think my location had the least,
Yeah,
probably.
your location.
But even at my location, the mother and father came, and parents came and they were engaged. And this one young man, he was like, "Can I get 2 extra books? Because I like to read to my children." I was like, "Sure, take as many as you like."
Yes.
Because that's what we need. And so our challenge now is to get more parents to come and invite them to continue to help. The parents that come, maybe have them talk to other parents, and then
Absolutely.
also find out some things we can do for parent engagement.
Hmm.
So that's what we have on our
Yeah.
plate as far as that's concerned.
And you've got a lot on your plate. You're doing a lot for our community right now. Let's like just dabble into what you're doing, Karen, Ikrama, and just can we look at a video and talk about your what you actually do, what you make? Can we see it?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, this is exciting. Very exciting. We are going to.
There
Yes,
we are.
there we go. Hi, Akrama.
We're here live at Savage Mill, and these are some of the products that I actually sell. Um, are we getting feedback?
No, sound
Okay,
good.
great. So this is Pieces and Threads, and I named the company Pieces and Threads for a lot of reasons. Of course, we all need peace. We all, hunger for peace, and so I thought that was a good name for it. But we also use different pieces of cloth and remnants to put together some of these beautiful.
Oh, no. Hopefully you can still hear me. If
Tell you
you can
about
still hear
right
me,
now.
good.
First, let's start with the pieces earrings, which I love. So these are earrings made by a sister in Pennsylvania, and she designs these. They are acrylic resin and alcohol ink, And they come in all of these beautiful colors. And as you can see, I love them. I wear them all the time. Another product is our teas. These teas are delicious, and they're made in Kenya, and they're made with women's cooperatives and farmers, direct to farm teas in Kenya. And if you could see them or smell them, you would just see how pretty they are and how good they smell. Um, they're, we have them, they range from being low caffeine, no caffeine, to high caffeine, whatever your preference. And my favorite is Purple Rain, which we're sold out of. So it's other people's favorites too. And one of the interesting facts I learned about Kenyan tea is that Kenya is the third largest exporter of tea in the world, only behind China and India. So they've been making teas for a while, and they're very good at it, and it comes in a very pretty package. This is my second favorite, which is Little Berry Hibiscus. And it comes with a little hand-carved spoon and the story of the sister who made it. So I love those teas. This basket, this is nice for just putting little doodads in. If you like to collect things, you can put them in there for decoration. This basket is made in cinnamon. So let's move on. Any questions, Shannon?
I'm wondering about even what you're wearing. You talked about the earrings, but you're also wearing this apron.
Yes, yes. This is perfect for the holidays, especially the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. I had one sister, she said she wants to come back because I was sold out. But she said she's coming back, she wants to get fives. She and all of her sisters are going to wear them on Thanksgiving. So these aprons are also made in Ghana. They are handcrafted and patchwork sewn through various scraps of material, and they're very nice.
Yeah. How do you go about choosing fabrics in general? Is it all about what it looks like, or how does the fabric speak to you, Akrama?
Well, I, I yeah, I usually go by colors first. I'm attracted to the colors, and then I look at, well, is this a fabric I can really work with? I like working with, I like working with cottons, canvas, denim. I like working with, most of the African fabrics are 100% cotton. And I also like working with mud cloth. So, but my thing, as you can see, is color. I just like vibrant colors. Um, this Small Business Saturday, we will be having a Cantha sale. And Cantha is a stitch that was started in India, but originally it was another stitch that sisters were doing in Africa. And then there was a small community of Africans that traveled and moved to India, and they were doing that stitch and taught a lot of the Indian women how to do it. But Kantha is a stitch, as you can see here. Usually you don't see stitches in your fabric because they're basically in the seams, but you can see these white stitches here. That's called a Kantha stitch. And these are scarves that are made out of recycled saris. So you really get two scarves in one because it has one pattern on this side and it has the other pattern on this side. And what they do is they'll lay the sari down on the ground, and then they'll lay another sari on top of it, and then they'll just take their needle and thread and they'll sew the stitch all the way up. And you would think, not that it's not time consuming, but you would be surprised at how fast they can do it because they have practiced and they have been practicing generation after generation after generation. And this is the same style, but it's a blanket. I love these. They're colorful, they're lightweight, but they are warm. And it's the same type of technique. So,
That's really beautiful.
and you know, you can wrap it around just when you're watching TV or anything like that, or you can use it for decoration or both. So,
Gorgeous.
I love these panther blankets.
Krama, you were talking a little bit about these particular stitches. Are there different types of stitches that hold different types of story or mean different things?
Yes. In fact, I've started to become enamored with hand stitching. Now the machine also has several different decorative stitches that you can use for embroidery. They have embroidery machines that you can do all types of embroidery with. But I've started to become interested in hand stitching, and I said to myself, I think I want to learn all the hand stitches. And then I went online and it said, there are 235 hand stitches. So I was like, well, maybe I'll learn like 10 or 20. But yes, there are different types of stitches that people use a lot in decorative stitching. But the basic stitch is the running stitch, what we call the running stitch. The Canthus stitch resembles a running stitch. The Japanese running stitch would be shashiko, and they each have a different art form. Like if you look at a shashiko, they make different symbols and different designs that you can tell, okay, that's shashiko. Kantha is usually a straight stitch, but sometimes they make different designs as well. So I am still learning about all the different stitches. This is a bag, a handbag, that is patchwork
Oh,
and
wow.
made out of Kantha stitch as well. And they use different color threads here. Isn't that
Beautiful.
cute?
It is cute.
I love it. Now that is like the Kansas stitch as opposed, not opposed, but in addition to quilting stitch. Like this is a bag. I made this bag. And it is made with several strips of fabric. And then those strips are sewn in straight lines, which is quilted.
Hmm.
So this one I did by machine.
That is gorgeous, really.
Yeah. And we also have baskets from Ghana. Um, we talked about the aprons. We have these beautiful fans. And even though it's starting to get cooler, you never know when you're going to need a fan uh,
It's true.
for some of us.
Hmm.
Um, we make pouches, the zipper pouches. They're lined. Very nice. They come in different. I do like different textures of fabric. Like when you're saying choosing fabrics, especially when we're using scraps and remnants, you can find some really like older fabrics and make them in a more modern design. And this is a more textured fabric, and it's even a different texture on the back. So I like playing with textures a lot. So
Um,
what else? Have I shown you everything?
Ikrama, how long does it take you, for instance, the bag that you showed us, how long does it take you to make something like that?
A long time. Yeah, it takes, and something like that, I put down and then I come back to, I put down. So it could take, I could work on that for maybe a week, but not like every day, all day. I might sew together the strips one day, and then the next day I'll do the quilting. and put the batting in and do the quilting. And then another day I'll come back and put all the pieces together or make the straps and that kind of thing. So it's a process. I probably need to be more efficient with it, and we'll work on that in the future. But right now I do it. I don't rush myself on something like this. These totes, I can zip these out like in 30 minutes because I've been doing that for so long, and it's not as much detail involved.
Yeah, we
So,
forget. We forget, I think, that there is craftsmanship and time and energy and process that goes into a product that is handmade. We think we're so used to fashion or products just being able to be manufactured so quickly. We forget that you are paying for and you really are supporting a person and a person's life
yeah,
when you are buying local.
right. And it's something that's going to last. That's one of the things with quilting. I know a lot of quilters who they make quilts now for themselves. They don't try to sell them or anything because they say people are not willing to pay what they're worth. But what people don't understand about things like quilting, that's an heirloom. I mean, somebody hand quilts something for you, you pass it down to your children, they'll pass it down to their children, and they last. I have a quilt that my son's great great grandmother quilted, you know. And when I first started quilting, well, not too long ago, but I made a quilt for my granddaughter and I made a quilt for my grandson. So they both have quilts that they can keep forever and give to their children. So it's a connection to the past and to our ancestors and our history. And it's made out of love. So they can, even when I'm not here, he can wrap himself in my quilt, and that's me giving him a big hug.
I'm thinking about, you were talking about the scarves before, and I am looking at your own head wrap, like these scarves and things, like we really adorn ourselves with the fashion. These are like, they're statement pieces when we wear things that have been handed down.
Yeah, absolutely. And this scarf is very versatile. So you can wear it as a scarf, you can wear it as a wrap, you can use it as a throw on your sofa or your couch, and you can even use it as a table runner. I've had many people come up and say they wanted to use it as a table runner. So there's a lot of things you can do with it.
There's a ton going on, Ikrama. Thank you for showing us this. As we are actually speaking about hair and things that adorn our bodies, I was thinking we might want to look at Naila's video, and as you move through and take us to the next place.
Stress is taking a toll on our immune system and even our hair. Regally Insane invites you to better self-care with our hair products made with essential oils and natural ingredients, promoting healthy growth. Build a healthy immune system. Our supplements have natural vitamins, nutrients, and minerals with an enjoyable taste so you can reach daily nutritional goals. Find us on social media at Regally Insane. For health, hair, and wellness, shop RegallyInsane.com.
Hi, and welcome back. We are doing so many things today as far as making sure that we are shopping local. We're talking to Ikrama Mohammed, we're talking to Karen Freeman as they are traversing their way through Savage Mill and talking to us about the importance of supporting small businesses during the holidays and every day. Welcome back, Ikrama.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so we're here at Savage Mill, and we're in the Shop Local kiosk that is powered by Savage Mill and the Maryland Women Business Center here in the state of Maryland. And the Maryland Women Business Center, they're committed to helping entrepreneurs grow their businesses, learn how to go in business and to support them through classes and uh, marketing expertise, etc. So I want to give a shout out to the Maryland Women Business Center and Martha Jimenez and Danette Nguyen. I can't pronounce Danette's last name, but she's um, part of the Maryland Women's Business Center. In fact, she's the head of the Maryland Women Business Center, so I should know how to pronounce her name. But so anyway, so I'm here with 4 other makers, and right now we're looking at the work and artistry of Lucia. Lucia is here. Lucia Gomez. She is from Colombia, and the name of her company is Showy. So Lucia started her company in 2023 with a deep passion that she's always had for earrings. And she grew up sharing with her mom the hobby of jewelry making, and she began learning new techniques with polymer clay, resin, and mixing them into beads. So she followed her heart and started her business and doing what she loves in 2023. Besides the handmade pieces, Shoei has 2 more product lines, one specialized in metal earrings and the other one in jewelry care products. She is a proud Colombiana, and she's forever proud of her roots and with the goal to empower more Colombianas to never give up and fight for their dreams. So this is the work of Lucia Gomez. Now, this was something I discovered I didn't know much about before I came here. She does ear cuffs. So this is her ear cuff bar, and you can pick these ear cuffs out. And these ear cuffs are like earrings for your ear, right? And as you can see, this is how they fit. You can get 1, 2, 3. They're very, very popular. And then again, as I mentioned, she's moved into metal. She has metal design for her metal earrings. These bows are very pretty and appropriate for the holiday. My sister Irie would love these, I think. She likes long earrings. She makes rings and just beautiful, beautiful earrings that make excellent gifts. And she will be having a sale for Small Business Saturday too. So we hope that if you're out there and you're looking for uh, unique gifts, handmade gifts, you will come to Savage Mill, the kiosk at Savage Mill. You can also reach Lucia and look at her products at showy.com. Shop showy.com. Okay?
Ikrama, when it comes to all the makers, now these makers, how do you meet? How do
Who's
you
next?
collaborate and meet with these makers?
Well, this was a cohort from the Maryland Women Business Center.
Mm-hmm.
And so people apply to that, and then if they get accepted, then we come together, we meet, and then we work together at a location that Maryland Women Business Center sets up. So we're grateful to them for that. But in general, how we've met makers before is you can meet them anywhere. You can see somebody with the earrings that you like and say, oh, did you make those? Or a scarf. Makers are very happy to share with you what they made. So you can meet them at any location.
Yeah, it's just when people are getting into the idea of like making a bag or making jewelry, like we saw, it can be very intimidating. So it is, what I'm hearing is it's nice to actually just ask someone, did you make those? And then be curious about the process.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Most of the makers that we meet have been doing it for a long time. I also taught a sewing class. I say taught because I had my last session last week. But people just love, I really think, like you mentioned in the beginning, are really wanting to get back into being creative and making things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go down and see Fragile Beauty.
Absolutely.
So this is Fragile Beauty Mosaics, and this is the beautiful artwork of Emily Stevens. Emily is the artist behind all of these mosaics that you see. She's a self-taught artist, and she lives in Maryland. She draws inspiration for her work from nature, and she accepts commissions for personalized mosaics, including portraits, signs, and fine art. In fact, I got a peace sign that she made, which is very beautiful. Of course, I got a peace sign. But
Of
you
course
can
it
see
did.
it's beautiful. She does clocks, and she actually gives classes. And before we go, I will see when her next class is in case somebody wants to. Oh,
It's inspiring to see people, it's inspiring to see things, makers make things that the first time I ever saw or tried to do a mosaic, I know I was in grade school. And so it's just to think like, oh, the things that we learn at a young age, those things can turn into a whole career.
absolutely.
Hmm.
That's the fun of it, you know.
Hmm.
If you really love that, some people might like working in an office and sharpening pencils to do accounting and things of that nature and staying in the office all day long. Some people love that, but other people like to be in their studio creating and making a mess that turns into a beautiful piece of art, starting out looking like a mess.
Yeah. And there's something I think about, there is something about curiosity and not shaming people who do like penciling, right? We like the people who are in offices and they love to sharpen pencils. Some of those people have a little a part of themselves that wishes that they could be in a studio, but there's some sort of shame sometimes that comes with being a creative.
Yeah, I mean, I think the shame is that this society does not pay creatives the kind of money that this society respects.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's a shame or if it's like, oh, that's beautiful, but you're going to be poor. So, why would I do that? But I do think that people who, and more and more today, as we have spoke about earlier, more and more today, people who are in offices or doing that mathematical or scientific work uh, are wanting to relax and take time to do pottery or sew or knit or embroider, in their spare time. And because it's very relaxing and it's very therapeutic. So
Mhm.
when you have a stressful job, like a lot of those jobs are, it's nice to balance that with tapping into your creative side because even though we're characterized as being left brained and right brained and all that kind of stuff, we're a little bit of a crossover. So everybody has a creative side. And
Yeah.
even like Karen said earlier, she wasn't a maker, but she is a maker. She's going to be. It's just coming out, and next season we will see some of the things that she makes. But she's a maker in terms of that spread the word program.
Hmm.
That takes creativity to think about how to engage people around reading. It takes creativity to even pick out what books will these children like to read. So you're making community, you're making, which is one of the things that our mission is with striving to help build thriving communities. And
Yeah.
it takes makers to do that. Um, Understanding the order of things and the process of things is very important in how everything comes together,
Yeah.
whether it
I'm
be a conference or a piece of art.
absolutely. I'm going to transition us into seeing another maker, Rochelle's, and then I want I don't want you to lose that thought about making being therapeutic, because I want to talk to you a little bit more about that when we get back together.
Okay.
I am very excited for to see who we get to see next with Ikrama. This has been already therapeutic, just to understand that people make things, that we can make things, and we can support people who make things.
Yes, absolutely. We're here now with Inso Gifts. Inso Gifts is a product that accompanied by Gina. Gina is also from Colombia, and she sells different accessories, earrings, uh, bracelets. But one of my favorite things, is these bags. So these are Waju bags, and they are handmade in Colombia by the Waju people. So this is again a technique and a structure that has been passed down from generation to generation. The origin of Waju, they're an indigenous group who live in the arid La Guiera. She's teaching me how to speak Spanish. But La Guiera Peninsula, which is shared by Colombia and Venezuela. So they are made using a variety of weaving and crocheting techniques. And the bags are known for their intricate designs and colorful patterns like this. Isn't that gorgeous? This is made by hand. Somebody made this by hand. So you have that style. And then you have the little, what is the name of this character? I would say
Stitch, Lilo and
Stitch.
Stitch.
Yeah, Stitch. This Stitch is very popular, so a lot of people like Stitch. It's so funny because a funny story. I work on Fridays, and Gina worked. I was working Thursday that week, and Gina worked on Wednesday. And she called up. I mean, she texted me. She said, "Did you see my Stitch bag? I think I left it there." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll look." So I'm looking for like a bag with stitches on it. Because of course my mind is sewing. When you say stitch, I'm
You
thinking
mean Stitch.
bag that's stitched. And then finally somebody came by and said something. I was like, oh, you mean this? Here. You mean the character Stitch? I don't know anything about that, but apparently I'm the only one that doesn't, because everybody who walks by here is like Stitch. So anyway, these are beautiful bags, and she has these pouches. She has this eye. I think this might mean something, but I'm not sure. But people, uh, she had large Waju bags that had the eye, and they were very, very popular. So they're each unique, and they treat each piece as a canvas. Um, so they've been doing this. It's part of the culture. They've been doing it for generations, and it's passed down from mother to daughter to grandchildren, etc. And it's a nice, that's what we mean when we're talking about keeping the connection and building community, and how important that is. So
Mm-hmm.
these are the bags. So I have to show you how they.
Oh, wow. Very nice. Very chic.
Isn't it nice?
Yes.
So that's Gina.
Well, yes, as you're talking about,
So Gina
um,
is our last maker today.
mm-hmm.
But I wanted to, yeah, I wanted Karen to, our camera person. So I wanted Karen to show us a little bit about around the mall, so that you can see how beautiful it is.
So I'm walking by the mall. Most of the shops are closed right now because this mall normally has shops open to 6 o'clock, but they have some activities. They have a fencing organization over there, and they do a ropes course for the University of Maryland Terrapins rope course that they do here. So if you hear noise in the background, the fencing people are fencing tonight. But as a promise said, they have gift shops, a clock shop, tote shops, uh, men's secondhand because it's charity's closet here. They have candle makers, have arts and crafts. So a lot of things are going on in the mall from 10 to 6. So
Very
here we
cool.
are at Shop Local. So come on down Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 6.
Lovely.
Okay, I think we're going to go back to our main programming now, Shannon.
We love main programming. Perfect. Thank you, Karen. Hi, Akrama. Good. I'm good.
Good. That's great.
Perfect.
I'm trying to
Yes.
find. Of course, we should give the address. Maybe Petra will run it across the screen, so people will know where we're inviting them to. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the tour and
It's
seeing all of the wonderful things that people make just
yes.
for you.
Yes, just for us, just for you. You come on down and realize. I wanted you to talk a little bit about as we are heading into this season, right? This season of making, buying, supporting the therapeutic part about making and supporting local, but definitely about making things with your hands and how that can be therapeutic.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that is a benefit of these traditional art and making things with your hands. I don't know. I guess people have studied the brain patterns and shown that when people are um, engaged in something that they love doing, that it relaxes them. I know the rhythmic sound of the humming of the sewing machine as you sew, um, the repetitive motions when you're knitting, it's almost hypnotizing,
Mhm.
you know, and it brings you into a calm, as well as seeing something that you're making with your hands evolve,
Mhm.
and you're creating that.
Mhm.
It's not a lot of things that we do that we create. And to be able, the knowledge of being able to do that, I think, is very rewarding and common. And so what they found is, I mean, you'll find they have sewing rooms now in several places for therapy, in hospitals, in prisons, although they might be doing it for profit, but still they have sewing rooms for people to come in and use to relax. And I
Mhm.
think the focus of society, of course, is not on creating, it's
Mm.
on producing
Right.
for monetary gain. We live in a capitalistic society, so as who said that? 50 cents. If it don't make
Dollars don't
dollars,
make
it don't
sense.
make sense. You know. So that's the focus, and that's why people don't really, even though there's a lot of beneficial things to art, that the society is not focused on that, except for as entertainment or something, to do in your leisure time.
Mm.
But I've just listened to a doctor speak about music and the power of music, the healing power of music, and how music is something that reaches your senses and everything, and it stays with you. And it was the original, like we talked about, that our oral tradition,
Mhm.
that music was a way that people remembered things. Like you would sing walking to the well and how many steps it was to the well, and your instructions were sung to you a lot of the
Mhm.
time. A lot of the songs were about that. And of course, about faith and those other things as well. But it made me think because, sometimes when we're talking about education, we think that, the children can't learn, they can't remember things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And even me, I think, wow, I can't remember what I did. Did I just show you all something? I can't remember. Did we already do that? But the thing is that I can remember all the words to a song that I heard back in 1960,
Mhm.
right? So it's obviously a connection with music that is not, with other things. You could try to memorize it, etc. And there are people. There are a few people now. Meltrek is a name of the company who was in one of our pop-ups, and they do videos of history, putting it to music and things like that. So, children can learn that way, and it's not if we think, oh no, you know that's not good. That's just frivolous, and they need to study and memorize and repeat and recite and you know. But
Right.
however they learn it, as long as
Yeah.
they learn it, like if we can retain songs from
I'm just a bill.
right,
Right.
exactly. That they used to have that,
I
right?
know.
And that's how that's how you know what a bill is.
Right.
Because you might not be in the forefront, but if you say, well, "Do you know what a bill
Sitting
is?"
here
I'm
on
just a
Capitol
bill.
Hill.
I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a
and
long, long journey. No.
grammar rock and all of those. Even some of the shows like Reading Rainbow,
Mhm.
Right.
right? These shows were very effective in helping children learn, but they couldn't get money put behind them. Eventually, they got defunded. They defunded the good shows, and um, you know, so we have to decide what's good for our community and
Right.
what's best for our children. And I think all children should learn how to make something with their hands. All adults, I think everybody should know how to make something with their hands. I think we should all learn how to grow something from the earth.
Hmm.
That we should all be required to serve our communities. And then I think the world will be a better place. So
Me
you
too.
heard it here.
I did. I
But
did. Speaking of the world being a better place, even as far as Karen Freeman goes, she can show us the world becoming a better place, right, Karen?
Sure.
yeah.
You're going to show my
Well, tell them
video.
about
Let's-
first. Tell them
So,
about your
so
traveling.
I'm a travel agent, an independent travel agent for Carefree Travel, and I curate trips for people who want to make their dreams come true. And and I've been many places, and it is the holiday season. People do a lot of traveling. I have clients traveling to the Caribbean this holiday season, and as far away as Antarctica
Wow.
this holiday season. So,
and,
uh,
and where are you going tomorrow, Karen?
well, I am going to Brazil tomorrow. I'm actually meeting some people that I met on a cruise from Lisbon down the west coast of Africa to Cape Town. And one of the people that I met there is an author. His name is Otis Lee. And he's doing research on the African heritage in Brazil because they have a large Black population there. And we're going to visit the Quilombos, which are communities where Black people either fought to get away from slavery or ran away from slavery, and they started their own communities. And so tomorrow I leave to go to Brazil for 12 days to visit the Quilombos and learn all about their heritage. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's our heritage
Yeah.
as well. And
Right.
and information that we need to see and study
Yes.
because the way things are going here, we may have to start some Columbus.
Yeah, well, the way it's going here, unfortunately, a lot of things are being withheld. But which is why it's great that people are writing books about things and expanding the knowledge of people in the United States. Because until I met Otis, I had never really heard of those types of communities. I mean, I heard of the Maroons in Jamaica, but I never heard of these communities in Brazil. And I went to Lisbon a couple of years ago, and in Portugal, they have the same thing. So a lot of African heritage in Portugal as well, because they were ruled by the Africans for like 800 years. So, yeah, there's a lot there.
So we very much wish you well on your trip tomorrow.
Thank you.
And just to give us a little hint, we can like live through what you might be going through your video.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and have a wonderful trip. Have a wonderful trip tomorrow.
Yes, I hope so. So all those pictures that you just saw in that video were from my trip, 21 days down the coast of Africa and all the different countries we visited. But of course, I've been to all the continents except for Antarctica now, because I finally went to South America this year. Earlier this year, I went to the Panama Canal and to Colombia as well. So the only continent I haven't visited is Antarctica, which I intend to get to.
Really?
We have no doubt. We have no doubt that you'll make it.
If you have any questions or you want to travel, let me know.
Absolutely. Okay, friends.
I wanted to go back to the importance of making and the importance of learning how to make the things that we need to live so that we're not dependent. And we can each teach each other how to do this. That way, we won't be worried about how we're going to eat, or, I mean, we could have a garden in every neighborhood. or every person on the block could have a garden, and that way we feed each other. Um, I think we're going to have to start looking in this direction of working collectively and doing for self and learning to care about each other more, um, and have it be more people focused than profit focused. And I like the way that the traditional arts being involved in that gives us an appreciation for nature and appreciation for life, really.
Yeah. Thank you, Akrama. Thank you, Karen. Thank you both for just educating us today, letting us see, helping us to see the importance of making, also the importance of supporting people who make, right? We are giving and receiving, and this is the season to be doing that. And what a better way to give and receive our stories, our heritage, through creating with our hands those stories and passing down that heritage to our peers, yes, but generations, right?
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Friends and family, we have come to yet another ending to our Wisdom, Wellness, and Wealth event brought to you by the Pieces Collective. Karen Freeman and Ikrama Muhammad, thank you so very, very much for being here and for bringing us together and making sure that we are educated in all of the different ways that we need to be educated to stay together and to build our communities. We really appreciate you.
It's been
Yep.
our pleasure.
Yep. Thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon.
So welcome,
See you
friends
again
and
next
family.
month.
Yes, you have something else coming. Please, please, please join us. If you are enjoying these events, please come again for our end of year celebration on Wednesday, December 18th, and at 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then the Savage Mill Yuletide Festival, go on Wednesday, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. There are many, many times and a whole slide that's going to come up, so you don't have to rely on rewinding. Do you remember rewinding? Rewinding to my voice. Just wait for the slide. But again, thank you, Karen. Thank you, Ikrama. And as always, thank you to you who are watching. We really encourage you to go out, make something for yourself, make something of yourself, make something for yourself.
We're all
And
makers.
we're all makers, absolutely. And we'll see you again here at Pieces Collective. Good night.
Good
Night.
night.
Peace.